All right, we are back again here in another day of the KSL. We are about to wrap up the round of 16. Tasis joined with me as always is Ro16. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be back. I casted one day. I just got in this week. I know you ended your vacation a little bit earlier, but it's going to be back here in Korea. It does feel weird for me to not cast in that long.
Yeah. And, you know, I hope we have more stuff coming up pretty soon because the KSL is going to wrap up pretty quickly. I know you're saying to yourself, hey, we're in the round of 16. This has a long ways to go. Oh, you couldn't be more wrong.
This tournament's funny where we stay in one phase almost the entire time, and then suddenly we've wrapped up the round of 16. We have the final few players left, and then we move on and close it out pretty quickly. That is, of course, because we have best of fives here instead of best of ones like we do in ASL, so it takes longer to actually complete that. If we're to do a whole group in one day, that would be like
100 years.
That would be like an 8 or 9 hour day, I think.
Yeah,
actually,
it would be super long.
So we've got to break up the action in the groups to sections like we're doing now.
Yeah. Anyways, we are finishing up the decider matches today. We get the last two players into the round of 8.
Yes.
So that's pretty exciting. We only have one Protoss in the round of 8 so far. We have a second one that could make it tonight. I don't think his chances are 0, but he's a little bit of an underdog in my opinion, so we'll see if he can make it through and balance out that round of 8 a little bit more.
That's right. Then we can give our thanks to David Kim. So, StarCraft, KSL here. Got a lot of prize money on the line. This is one of the 2 major leagues here in South Korea as Brood War has been resurrected with StarCraft Remastered. And I got to say, man, yesterday was a lot of fun. We had some very interesting games. It's cool to see that we can continue to unpack this game. People are still getting up with new strats. There's still new styles being used. I'm loving it.
Indeed. It has been just so fun to have it come back. It's like accelerating. The metagame is accelerating right now in StarCraft 1.
I think there's so many more eyeballs watching and so much more hype around it.
It's just, it's very different than it used to be, but I'm enjoying the hell out of it.
So, do join us on Facebook. That's an easy way to follow this. This tournament is exclusively on Twitch, although I believe the VODs are on YouTube, right?
Yeah, the VODs are all on YouTube, on the StarCraft Esports channel.
And then, of course, we if you come down here and are at our studio live, you can make a sign. If you make a good sign and you win, you might get a mouse or a headset. Of course, there's also a raffle at the end in case you're a little shy or you're not good at art. We will still give something away as well.
Indeed. As you see, we are finding who is going to play against Rain and who against Mind. I believe the winner of this first match will be playing against Mind, if I'm not mistaken, but we'll see. Make sure of that as we move forward. But that's a pretty sick bracket. Look at that Larva versus Sulky match. We're going to have one of the world's absolute best Zergs. Like both those guys are top 4 Zerg.
Oh, yeah.
Them two, Effort Jaedong probably, right? Top 4. So that's really exciting.
I do want to point out that even if we only have one Protoss in the top 8, I think there's a very high chance Rain can still win this entire tournament.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
He is the Protoss of Protosses right now.
He's a level above everybody else. So definitely the case there. Of course, we did have a little bit of an upset with Ware taking out Light, but he really played a very smart tournament match.
It was really exciting to cast.
Yeah,
I was blown away at how well he did.
It was a fun one. And here, all 4 of these players, I mean, this is just kind of an interesting night. I guess we'll just start off talking about Bermuda Sharp because that is our first match.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Bermuda, a.k.a. Jay Hooney's the one guy that changed his ID here. We still have
Are we going to call him Bermuda?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just stick with Bermuda.
I feel like I'm starting to sing that Beach Boys song, you know, Bermuda, Bahamas, come on, pretty mamas,
right?
Key Largo, Montego, baby, why don't we go to the KSL studio? That's where I wanna
that
go.
song's even older than us, man. That's like what our parents listened to. The Beach Boys? Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not older than us.
We're
way pretty old right now. No, it's not.
Artosis.
Hold on.
Are you serious?
Wasn't that Uncle on Full House part of the Beach Boys?
Guys, this is why I'm the cool one out of this caster duo, right? Is I actually know this. Artosis, I went with my mom to see the Beach Boys play, and they were all like 70 when we saw that, okay? And that was like maybe 15 years ago.
Tasis, just because you still wear Converse doesn't mean you're 20.
I'm going to get on my skateboard and roll out of here, all right, while you go organize your pens. Nerd.
I do that all the time. I'm always organizing my pens.
I know. Okay, so we're going to start this. This is Bermuda coming up here.
Yes.
And Yeah.
He actually had some really good games against Larva. That was a very nice series, I would say. You played a pretty solid one against Movie as well, taking him out earlier in the tournament. And yeah, it's been a rough road here, playing every single possible game he could have played. But I think he's in pretty decent shape overall. So kind of exciting to see what he'll bring to the table here tonight.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. I think he's one of these players kind of like where we know he's good, but we don't have the same expectations for him that we have for instance, someone like Rain or Light, for instance.
Yeah.
So it'll be cool to see how he performs here. You know, I think there's occasionally a little bit too much focus on the all-time greats like Flash and Jaedong. Obviously, those guys are amazing. They're very important. But it is exciting to see these other players who have played, you know, you talk about the 10,000-hour rule, try 100,000-hour rule with these guys. They've played so much, and it's cool to see maybe them rise up to the top.
Oh, yeah, it is really exciting. And Sharp is one of the guys doing that right now. He is clearly one of the top Terrans in the world right now. You have to put him as a top 4 Terran. Absolutely. And he's showing like flashes of brilliance, but he's not indestructible. You know, he's not like a Flash or a Last on a good day where you just look at him and you're like, oh, no one can beat that. You know?
Yeah.
He's definitely beatable, but he has some of the best comebacks you can really have. Like, especially in TVP, you just can't kill him TVP.
Right.
And like, you'll be ahead, and then guess what'll happen, Tasteless? Vultures will happen. You'll lose so many probes.
Yeah. This guy is so good with his aggression. He's always on point. He was the guy that was doing yoga, right?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Okay.
He is heavily into yoga right now. He's lost a ton of weight. He's getting into really good shape, getting a good mindset. He's streaming hard. He's practicing hard. He's been having great matches all over the place.
Right.
Definitely a Terran to watch out for in these coming years.
I'm curious to see how that aggro style, if he does try to implement it, and I think he will. I'm curious to see what exactly it's going to look like here against Bermuda. Well, Bermuda is a crafty player.
Yeah, he's I mean, Sharp definitely, he was a super aggressive Terran about a year ago in this matchup, and he still leans a little bit aggressive in my opinion, but he has a much bigger range now. He's really filling out his play at the moment, which is why we're seeing him rise up through the ranks.
Okay, once again, as we have every day, or I should say best of 5, we start out here at KSL, we're going to begin this on Heartbreak Ridge. Now, Heartbreak Ridge, I think, is one of the cooler maps we have right now in StarCraft because there's so many neat tricks you can do on it, but you're still allowed to play a standard game.
Well, I don't like Heartbreak Ridge, actually.
Why do you not like that, Ro16?
The high ground, low ground stuff is so crazy. And I wonder if we're going to see this here where one player can kind of sit on high ground. Here, I'm talking as a player right now. Now, to watch it and commentate,
guys,
I love
Ro16, I'm going to just break the news. Ro16 only plays games on Hunters, okay? This is what he's not telling you guys.
Heartbreak Hunters. Infinite Minerals.
So we're going to be hopping into this game in a little bit. We actually have a lot of non-Koreans here, a lot of foreigners in the audience today.
More and more are showing up each day.
This is cool.
Yeah.
People are always
Turns
telling us
out non-Koreans like StarCraft 1 as well.
People are like, Koreans like StarCraft 1. And I'm like,
I'm pretty sure everyone likes it, and if they don't, they just haven't seen it yet, and they should. So tell your friends, help us get more people in here and grow that Brood War scene for the West.
Yeah.
The game is just, it's the game. What do you want? It's like the founder of esports, basically. It's mechanically the hardest game out there. As you said so eloquently,
it's the game.
It's the game.
It's the game.
Yeah.
No, it is a great game, and I love this, that because we're remastering games, your favorite game never has to die as long as it's good, like StarCraft 1. We're going to start this best of 5 as game 1 is ready. Bermuda, it's going to take me a little while to get used to saying this, Bermuda versus Sharp here in the KSL. Let's go. Okay, it's a one-on-one map, just to start things off. We have Bermuda here on the left and Sharp on the right. And we do want to watch and just see if either of these guys try to proxy or do anything crazy because of not just the fact that it's a one-on-one map, so you know your opponent's starting location, but just the way you can hide things. There's a high ground location, the natural. There's a lot of things you could exploit potentially, although, of course, you don't have to.
Yeah. Tasteless, do you know how Bermuda got that ID?
I don't. Did he lose his original ID in the triangle? No, I actually don't, sorry.
Because he's kind of known for screwing up recalls, so it's kind of like his stuff disappears in the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, that's funny.
Which is hilarious. It's like, how can you be bad at recalls? That's like hurting yourself with a Nerf bat.
Yeah.
It's the most powerful single click in the entire game. So, anyways.
This sign over here said he's going to KSL right before he goes to the Army.
Oh, all right.
Oh, by the way, we see Sharp coming out here. He wants to just check and see
watching.
if there's anything proxied out here.
Yeah.
There is a build where you can make your pylon. I think it's like on 7. There's a couple different rushes for it, but like pylon on 7, and then just streamline zealots inside their base and do a lot of damage.
Yeah, this is really interesting. It's not just proxy he's looking for. I actually feel like he's looking more for an offensive gas. Because offensive gas is super powerful on this map. It really screws Terran up, and most Protosses try to do it on 2-player maps.
Right.
You know, you play this map, you play Benzene, something like that. You're going to have like 60% of the time plus the Protoss trying to get over there and take your gas right away and kind of force you to play their game. And that's very annoying. We've seen Sharp have a hard time against that occasionally on 2-player maps. So I feel like this was his counter to that. He says, you know what, I'm going to eat a little bit of dirt here on my build, on my early game economy, but I'm going to get that gas exactly when I want it.
It is interesting that Bermuda did not elect to do any kind of gas steal. Just seems like at a best of 5. It's just on maps like this, it just seems, you know.
Well, it could
good
be
to go for, but
a mind game for him even, right? It's so powerful. We see that Sharp is really prepared for it, and like if you're practicing for this match, you know it's likely to happen. But now he's just lost economy for 0. The fact that Bermuda did not even scout with his probe, that's the best counter to what Sharp did.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not a big thing, but it is a thing. Things exist.
Things are there.
Yeah.
Okay, so the initial SCV is coming in. Oh, wow.
Nice.
Okay, almost got the block off, but getting 2 hits is pretty nice as well. The Dragoon's going to pop out in a little bit here. He'll be able to chase that SCV out or kill it. And we see 1 SCV mining at the refinery. So this telegraphs, at least to us who are watching, that there's going to be a quick command center coming up here.
Yeah, for sure that is the case. And the Zealot coming across, so he'll make his Marines and micro heavily against this Zealot. Of course, the SCV wants to get out before the Dragoon pops out to kill it off. Nothing weird, though. I mean, this is all pretty normal.
Yeah, I mean, this is all par for the course here.
Oh, he's actually put his SCVs back on the gas at this point.
Oh, did he? Okay, that's actually a good catch. I would have missed that.
This might be Sharp's special build that he uses a lot that isn't that good. It's like a very old style where he actually goes siege tank and mines before the command center.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, I've been calling it like this build that Sharp does, because I see him mix it into his TVPs like 1 in 5 games or so.
Yeah.
I think it's actually just a very antiquated build. It's like FD or something like that, where he just pushes lightly with Marine, Tank, Vulture. But in the current meta and the current state of things, it just makes your command center really slow. So
yeah, well, I mean, we do have this Protoss right now just going for 1 gate expand. I think he got, after his first Dragoon, he made the Nexus, so it's actually a pretty ambitious Nexus here. Not getting second Dragoon right away.
Yeah.
Getting that actually afterwards. And then going right into a Robo. So, I mean, Protoss is actually kind of brittle at this phase. I don't know if Sharp's going to do anything, though, but just worth noting.
Yeah. He does start that command center now, and he did not go for the tank and mines before the command center. He does go for 4 Marines and a tank, which is, it's okay. You know, it's a flat map. You do have to either make a bunker or, you know, make a bunch of Marines to make sure they can't bully you away from your natural.
Right. So the Dragoons are coming up now along with the Zealot. You got to be careful with that Zealot over there. That makes the micro a little bit more complicated. And he actually does manage to snipe that 1 Marine, and actually that's quite a bit, because 1 more shot on that Marine, and that's going to be gone too.
Yeah, this is a bit rough. That Zealot is going to go down pretty soon here, but this
is actually getting pretty scary. If he can kill the SCV over here.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the Protoss dream, basically, because if you just have a good engagement, suddenly this command center is not making.
You call it the Protoss dream. I call it the Terran nightmare.
Yeah.
This is really bad right now for him. Look at that. He snipes the Vulture as well. That's huge. It's huge.
Okay, now this is a little crazy.
Man.
He actually takes the mine out. Oh.
Oh, he's... Dude, this is really bad for Sharp. And now he's blocking his tank with the SCV repair.
Oh my God!
This is
not supposed to happen.
Yeah, he's very close to. I don't want to say he's dead, but it's like.
Well, the fact that he went starport behind this too. I mean, he's not no second factory.
You're quite right.
He's not gonna die. It's got 5 HP.
Wee. I love it.
Okay.
But yeah, this was incredibly terrible for Sharp.
He could actually use the patrol micro. Oh, no. You ain't Bisu, buddy. All right.
Gotta rub it in, don't you?
Let's see if that was Bisu, the Dragoon would have parkoured over the mine as the mine blew up.
If this was Bisu, Sharp would already be dead.
Yeah, yeah.
He'd already be out of this game. Wouldn't even be a fun series. But yeah, so this was just, it was really well microed by Bermuda here, and Sharp messed it up a little bit, for sure. He came out a little bit too far. His damaged Marines were in the front, got picked off quickly. Yeah. His 2 SCVs actually blocked the siege tank, and he laid his mines too close to the siege tank as well, which made everything glitch out. So a lot of things went wrong.
Okay, in fact, let's see if he can. He's not going to be able to kill that SCV before this finishes, but that dropship is filled up with vultures because he wants to have some counterplay here. This one tank comes out, the Dragoons may try to pounce on that one tank.
Man, this is so bad. He might have even gotten like vulture speed before siege mode 2. We don't know yet because he is going for a drop. You really do want to put a high priority rather on vulture speed. So I mean, siege mode could be a long ways off still, but things are looking very grim for Sharp.
This is basically a disaster. Let's see if these vultures do anything.
He did get the vulture speed. So he's laying the mines. These are actually fantastic mines. Look at that, right where the Dragoons would pop out of the gateways. And look, this is what Sharp does. He gets behind, then he gets vultures in your base. This is like every Sharp TDP. Oh, that was a sick mine.
Now, that was not bad by Sharp, but I will say that is not catching up. You know.
He killed a decent amount of probes there.
It's yes.
I
think that Terran is still nowhere near close to where Protoss is, especially with the fact that there's a Reaver here. He could actually go for a bust at the entrance, right?
Well, the fact that he has a starport, he can just make 2 Wraiths now, and the Reaver play isn't going to be that strong. We see that he does not even have Dragoon range, I guess, yet either. Didn't he have Dragoon range?
No, I think
he
had to have Dragoon range. He would have been able to shoot down those mines.
Yeah, right.
He might be getting +1 air, but
I think you're right.
Even if you're going to go to carriers, that seems pretty fast. Okay, so then he is going to go to carriers.
Reaver into carriers is very good on this map as well.
Yeah, I think it's just good in general, too.
But look, I actually I'm okay with where Sharp's at. It was terrible at the beginning, but that drop, I think, for its investment, did a pretty good job.
Okay, I mean, this bunker is going to go down, and from here he can try to drop on top of these tanks. And I mean, this might be the beginning of the end here.
It looks like it. Beautiful Reaver play right here.
Good shot with the, oh my God.
Somehow that tank lives.
I know, I'm actually very confused by that. I guess that was the absolute perfect distance for the splash.
Yeah.
And now he's going to have to micro this one Marine in and out of the dropship and hope that he can beat this. This is...
All right, Marine King. Yeah, it seems like Jaehoon has been able to finish him off here. Like, this is so much damage. Maybe I guess Sharp can hold because it's so few Dragoons.
Well,
but he lost his Wraith, which is almost the most important.
He lost the dropship as well. He should have probably pulled that away. Yeah. Actually, I think he might be able to just roll him here.
Yeah. Well, even if he doesn't kill him right now,
I didn't even realize
he's done enough damage.
Alive. Yeah. Well.
It's too bad because I feel like the Vulture drop got him close enough to even that it was going to be a very nice game, but this counterattack was just well done. He busted the bunker exactly quickly enough. He got great Scarab hits off. The Wraith, there was only 1 Wraith out, so he had a hard time bullying back the shuttle as quickly as he needed. Good play by Bermuda, though. I got to tell you, he keeps impressing me. And I don't ever recall being impressed by Jaehoon back in the day, but Bermuda...
That ID change, Artosis.
Dude, he's been looking really good.
You and me have talked about this, and we keep losing our ladder games, and I'm like, I got to change my ID.
Yeah,
that's actually this thing I'm laddering on is actually cursed. Okay, it has a pox on it. The thing is, Artosis, I think he can just rinse and repeat here.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, the tank can hit these Dragoons, and the Dragoons can't do much about it as they try to advance. But there's so many Dragoons and so few tanks.
Totes.
I think we just had. The second tank come up? Am I correct on that?
There's
I heard something siege, and I can't imagine it was the one tank unsieging.
There's just no play here for Sharp at all.
Yeah.
Like, there's not like a thing that we can point to and say if he does this, he has a chance, because just the pressure plus going into carriers is too much for him. He doesn't have upgrades going. He just started that +1.
Yeah, and he can just keep firing away at these workers here.
Yeah, like he loses that, but it doesn't matter. His ground army can't do anything against the ground army of his opponent, and he's not going to have sufficient anti-air. So Bermuda is in complete control of this. Now, Sharp, again, he makes magic happen sometimes. Gets a dropship. Let's see what he can do with that. The thing is, there's 2 carriers out.
Yeah, I mean, this is the problem, is that even though Terran's surviving,
Right, there are 2 carriers out there.
I mean, there have to be, right? You should have 2 out. You should have 2 more coming along here. But I just want to point out that, you know, this is just a very, very almost impossible spot for Terran. I mean, Bermuda hasn't closed it, but all directions that this game is being pulled in are going in his favor.
Hey, the
God, we're good. There they are.
Yeah, well, I guess they were a little bit later than we thought. But anyways, these Vultures going to run in, and let's see what they can get done, picking off a few probes. This is Sharp's specialty.
He's getting on the high ground. I don't know if he has any more mines up there. And there's also going to be a drop here in the main now. I mean, if Bermuda's not being careful, this is going to do even more damage.
That he actually mined that out for him. And a Vulture drop into the main base. I swear to God, this is all of his TVPs. Get behind, kill so many probes that the game becomes close again. This is like his entire strategy. People need to just make cannons against Sharp.
You might be right, actually. So he's eventually going to clean this up. Protoss have really enjoyed. Oh, he's got to be careful with these probes all bunched up like this. One mine connects like unfavorably there, and you've lost literally every single worker.
Yeah, and that's where actually you can squeeze it out because he can't keep making interceptors. Oh, that's hilarious. His guys are burned down, Tasty.
Oh, no.
That's about the worst thing that could happen. Like, gas is at such a premium against carriers. Oh, jeez.
Well, I mean, you can see even someone as experienced as Sharp is feeling the heat here. And so we're going to have more and more carriers come out here. Now, I was going to talk about this before that drop came in, but Protoss are really enjoying this balancing act that the Terran is forced to play, where you have to be able to respond to both the air fleet and the ground army. And it's very hard for the Terran, because if you're lopsided in either way, either the air army kills your ground army or the ground army kills the Terran's ground army. Because too many Goliaths, they're just not going to beat Zealot Dragoon, especially with any Reavers in there.
It's very, very true. What we need to see from Bermuda right now is he needs to have enough defenses so that Vultures don't continually kill his probes like they have been, and then camp high grounds. Like these ledges around the map. If you stand up there with your army, the Terran ground army cannot go up against that with the carriers and the goons standing on the high ground. That is what makes this map really difficult sometimes against a strategy like this from Bermuda. Just all these different, terrain shifts.
Okay, now this army can't quite fight this head-to-head, but what he is doing is he's drawing Sharp away. Sharp wants to push here. And then when these tanks siege up, it's simple. You just pull away as the Protoss and try to fight somewhere where the other army is not. But again, here with this drop, I mean, Artosis, this is 2 base versus 2 base. Yeah. Protoss is eventually going to need to get a third here, and the fact that mining has been interrupted this much.
Yeah, and look at this. This drop is doing fantastic as well. He might not have it, like the carriers might just win this game completely on their own. Yeah. But the amount of chances that Sharp is continually giving himself, it's so crazy.
Yeah, this guy is pretty tenacious, man. It's really impressive. Now, we really do want to watch and see, okay, is Sharp going to get this third base up? Suddenly Bermuda went a little bit too hard on the carriers and pushing, and Terran just outgrows and outlasts, and then Terran could win that way as well.
Just surprised that, the harassment just keeps coming. This is Sharp style, but we see no units really ever left in defensive spots for Bermuda. We've seen very few, right? Like, no units on the high ground behind. He's not really placing spotter pylons for drop ships, even though he knows there's drop ships out. I mean, that's his one spotter pylon. He even mined that out, which blows my mind. Extra, you know?
I know.
Crazy, why did he mine that out?
I have no idea. There's no reason to do that as far as I can tell. I guess he thought maybe this would be a different kind of game where you're trying to squeeze out and hold off Sharp pushes while you expand to the bottom, but no.
Yeah, maybe that's it. He wanted it for an easy probe transfer or something.
In fights like this, you can see that the carriers are actually ideally going to try to target down the tanks so that the ground army can come in once you get into a good spot, and that's what he's going to be doing here. And then from there, I mean, Dragoons are just going to be Goliaths, Zealots are going to be Goliaths. Goliaths are only made to stop carriers, basically, or occasionally shoot down a shuttle or arbiters. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, pretty much
they're anti-air attack.
Yeah,
is why they're made.
Just because they can shoot ground doesn't mean they're
doesn't mean that they should.
Yeah. If only they could just point those rocket launchers down a little bit and fire their rockets on the ground, and Terran would never lose.
Well, that's literally called the Warhound. They tried it in the Haunt's
beta,
StarCraft 2. Didn't go well.
Okay, more and more carriers, Goliaths taking hits here. This is the push where it gets real. The carriers are a threat, but it's the fact that there are Dragoons down here falling over at the Goliaths that just makes it hugely problematic.
Yeah, it's just way too much now at this point. He's forced to make all these Goliaths. It's not going to work out.
There it is, GG. Sharp dies. Really impressive play there by Bermuda. I mean, he really, I guess you could say it would have been nice had he not lost those workers, but I mean, I'm not judging a diving contest here, guys. This is you're not going to have a perfect game.
Oh no, perfect games are very rare.
And frankly, I mean, you could see he was just trying to get in there and get the knockout blow, and that was the only thing that was keeping Sharp in this. Is he kept sneaking a few vultures in there and doing damage. But we're far from done. I mean, this is a best of 5. You know, winning one game is great, but winning 2 more against Sharp, that's when I'll be really impressed.
I mean, you know, Sharp was trying to get aggressive early on with the vulture drop, so it's just too bad. If he had held a little bit better, a slightly better micro, when the initial Zealot 2 Dragoons was really pressuring him, that's actually what happened this game. Is those 3 units started to snowball. Like, a lot of damage got done. Jaehoon was doing huge amounts of damage, killing off units and picking off the tank. That is gigantic in the early game. If you lose your first tank in TVP, you're just looking at it and you're like, well, this is all, like, I have to come back. I have to start planning, you know, some sort of crazy scenario. And you wouldn't think that one unit.
It changes the whole trajectory of the game.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy to point out that even at the highest levels, you can have a fight go that one-sided. Where on any other level you would expect, okay, the Terran should hold this. This should be mapped out perfectly. He can't.
Yeah.
Beautifully done there at the start. I'm curious, though, if Bermuda doesn't have a very strong early game, how will he look as we move into mid-game and late game? Because if you do a lot of damage really early on, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
You know.
Finishing people off is not.
This is
I mean, it's hard, but yeah, it's.
Anybody who's played StarCraft 2 killed a lot of workers earlier, like you said, killed that first tank. It's like, okay, I mean, now I just got to play my best game, and I should win, right? If I make the right decisions throughout.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Fighting spirit. Okay, Sharp is keeping it basic.
All right, well, we'll see what the spawns are and what the openings are, because this is like there's things about it that are nice on both sides, but there are definitely ways to make life hard for your opponent on fighting spirit. No doubt about that.
You know, what do you think? I'm really wondering now, what does Bermuda do on this map? Does he actually want to play a standard game? I feel like Sharp is going to be really strong on fighting spirit.
Yeah, I mean, I could see Bermuda doing anything from completely standard play all the way to a Nexus first. Like, it's a 4-player map. You can go Nexus first here, and if he scouts you second, or if he scouts you third, he can't really stop it. And if he scouts you second, he probably won't.
All right, guys, we're going to go to game number 2. Right now, Bermuda with a 1-0 lead versus Sharp. Let's see if the upset continues on or if Sharp will even this out 1-1. Okay, we have both players hugging the left side of the map with Bermuda at the top and Sharp at the bottom.
Okay. So, positionally speaking, with Sharp with these vertical spawns, with Sharp bottom left, Bermuda top left, these spots favor certain types of play for Bermuda against Sharp. If Sharp tries to go, for instance, for just a pretty quick third base, you know, in like a 2-1 timing attack, that type of thing, the third base is very, very close to the natural Bermuda.
Right.
So it's this type of situation in which Bermuda can just put Dragoons on the high ground of that third base, and it becomes exceedingly difficult for Sharp to take it. So that is, it's a very common strategy for fighting spirit and extremely effective if you are playing that kind of turtley macro game situation.
And for those who are still trying to learn, trying to pick up StarCraft, because of course it's never too late. This game just got remastered. I'm sure in another 20 years they'll remaster it all over again. Yeah. If you're trying to learn, this is actually the map I would recommend you try and play on.
Yeah, it's pretty standard, pretty straightforward.
Yeah. if you're a Nubbin, a Nubbin, a Nubel, a Nobenhagen,
Knublesworth.
yeah, a Nubble Knob, then you should play on this map, because some of these other maps, the properties, because this game's so old, like for instance the last map we just saw, Heartbreak Ridge, there's a few properties on that map that completely change the way that the early game can go in some of the builds.
Yeah.
And you do want to try to start on a map that is, I don't want to say bland, but I would say basic.
Yeah. It's very true. You don't want to be doing anything too fancy, you know, when you're first starting the game, which is why everyone plays Fighting Spirit and Circuit Breakers. And literally Blizzard, I think, announced that they were never going to take those two out of the ladder pool, just because people really want to play on a couple basic maps.
Yeah, if you get the maps to be too abstract, I mean, that's great for tournaments where these guys, you know, are grinding out a minimum of like 8 hours a day, constantly studying. But if you want to try to pick the game up yourself, that's interesting. I didn't realize they're actually going to keep that there. I thought maybe they might rotate to like a few other basic maps.
Well, there's like, what, 7 maps total, and you get 3 vetoes?
Right.
And so I think the plan is to keep those 2 in, because the fans really want to play on that, and it's a public ladder.
Right.
And I think that makes a lot of sense. You know,
and I guess if you really don't like them, you can veto them. So.
Yeah. And I mean, if you veto, almost no one vetoes those 2, but
right.
You veto 3 other maps, you're basically playing 2 very standard maps, and then probably the next 2 most standard maps for a lot of people. So. It's an interesting way to do it. I don't disagree.
Okay, so we actually have the Protoss opening up with a Zealot Scout.
Yes.
And generally speaking, we see players scout with the probe. So if you see the Zealot Scout, what this says is that the Protoss is a lot more interested in the position, I should say the starting location of the Terran, and less about the specifics of what the build is. Because Bermuda's going to take a Nexus basically no matter what, like we're seeing here. And Bermuda is essentially saying, I think I should be able to pretty much hold off everything, because I use that extra probe to get a few more minerals. I have a Zealot in my group. The Zealot will find the Terran and then probably just run away and get back here and defend.
Yeah, this is a super high econ build from Bermuda. And, you know, it's going to be good against just about anything. Like a 2-fact would roll through this, it looks like, because he's only on the 1 gateway, but you know, Sharp's not doing that. That's a build that you only mix in every now and then anyways.
Yeah, if he were to 2-fact every time, then Protosses would just play around it.
If you're known for 2-fact, you're not going to win any games.
It's basically like a build that should be obsolete, but then what happens is that if Terrans try to play more standard, Protosses try to get greedy, so there's this whole loop that you end up following where players are trying to counter each other's styles.
Now this is kind of cool. Sharp immediately throws down a 2nd factory. So what he's going to be doing is a 2-factory attack after his expansion. Now, with Bermuda throwing down that Robo, he's probably going to go directly into Reaver. This is my guess for him. I mean, it could be 3-gate ops as well. But this is kind of the important point, right? Is when do you move out as Sharp with this attack? And what exactly does Bermuda have to defend? Because a well-executed attack like this off 2 facts can actually really mess up a Protoss if they're too greedy.
Okay, here comes that command center landing down here. Now, this isn't any kind of committed attack. He's basically just doing damage until the rest of the army comes up there. I am curious to see if Bermuda's going to try to get a shuttle and a Reaver here. This has just been the trend now. The last maybe 18 months of StarCraft 1 is Reavers are standard now in mid-game for TVP.
They were really popular. This is really good micro by Bermuda overall. Taking a little bit of extra damage there on the Zealot, but he's picking off the Marines, which is really important against this build. And by the way, he just went 2 gates and Observers so far. So I feel like this is a pretty decent time for Sharp to move out with this build.
Yeah, I would say so. Oh, sick. Oh my god, that was weird. We just merged into 1 caster.
Well, we both know how sick that is. This type of situation, he shouldn't have shown the Vulture, I think. Oh my god. Oh, this is huge.
It gets worse before it gets better!
Wow. Well, Sharp is just gonna roll through this one. Totally crazy right there. He runs the Vulture around, lays mines behind the retreating Dragoons. If Bermuda has 7 goons here, this is not hard to hold.
Oh yeah, no.
3 goons, this is hard to hold.
This is bad, even with the probes. The probes are not that handy in trying to fight, Vulture tank.
Yeah.
You might be forced to use them. And to be frank, if Protoss loses this low ground Nexus, it's really clear that the Protoss should be losing the game.
Yeah, and he shouldn't lose the Nexus. It's just how many probes and goons is he going to spend here?
Yeah.
What you do is you just use the mines to zone the goons out. Like, you know that they can shoot down the mines, but the siege tanks have high DPS and really fantastic range. So that's what you're trying. It looks like that's about all Sharp's going to get done, but that was good. This was really, really strong.
Yeah, good call with that, Ro16. You're right. He's going to keep the Nexus, but so many probes being killed off there while Terran was making SCVs behind this.
Yep.
Now, sometimes, oh my god, I love this.
Yeah.
So good. Even just to get a few extra kills. Now, sometimes the Terran gets a little bit too ambitious, and suddenly the Protoss can seesaw the game back over and take out this base. We saw a shuttle there. I'm assuming that there's Zealots in there. He could do what we call this bulldogging, where you basically drop the Zealots on top of the tanks in siege mode, and then the Dragoons run in and kill everything.
I believe he doesn't have Zealots yet. I think he's going to go Reaver drop here.
Okay.
But
you could do the same idea.
With this build specifically, what Sharp did, just to kind of close the door on this, on what you were saying there as well, Tasis, supporting it. Like, if you don't turn around with the 2 tanks, even if you killed a decent amount of probes, that's really bad. Like, you have to keep these tanks alive because you're making vultures to rally up for the push. So you actually just won't have tanks at that point, and you'll be in kind of a similar position like we saw in Game 1. So the fact that he pulled back at that time, it was like a perfect pullback, well executed. We have a good game right now.
Oh, that's cute that he put the probe in the shuttle. Yeah. A lot of Terrans will try to use vultures to just snipe that, so that's just one very subtle thing you might end up missing if you don't pay super close attention, where he's just going to make sure that this probe gets a setup. You can absolutely, as a Protoss, try to get a 3rd base up 3 or 4 times, but vultures keep taking it out, and then you really just lost the game because you didn't get a 3rd base up. You couldn't keep up.
Yeah, it's crazy how those little things add up. Now, Sharp, is that thing at the top of his base a command center building?
I don't know.
Or is that like a floating racks? Okay,
it's an eBay.
Okay, so he's actually going into a secondary push here.
Right.
Now, if Bermuda does some sly, like he did get Reaver Tech, right? Yeah, okay. If he does some sly Reaver micro here, this Forfact might not work as well as Sharp wants it to. And if Sharp doesn't get something done with this Forfact follow-up, and he might even add a 5th fact as well. Normally you do, but we'll see. Sometimes the games get kind of down and dirty. You miss a few SCVs and stuff. Your economy's different, but he needs to get something done with this, because that 3rd base coming up is going to give Bermuda a big bonus shortly. Yeah,
a more standard approach, as Ro16 would say, would be to try to get a command center up, and then you try to, a lot of times on Fighting Spirit, excuse me, you'll try to get 3 bases up and just power on that, and most of the game is the Terran on 3 bases.
Yeah.
Just trying to close the game before they run out of minerals.
And this is fantastic by Bermuda. He's adding 4 more gates right now, so I believe he's going up to 8 gates total. He's going to be getting Zealot legs. He's not doing anything technical, and I love that, because he's playing against this 2-base Terran right now. So all he needs to do is let this economy kick in and macro heavily. And if he busts the push all the way, the game will end in his favor.
Right. So we want to watch this Terran push very carefully. Oh, wow. This Vulture actually does get up there.
Yeah. When you get a little bit behind, you get Vultures in. That's what Sharp does.
Yeah, every game. There's Vultures coming in here. Now, hold on. Did that distract him enough? Is this push actually going to do anything?
Oh! That's a big hit right there. Okay, let's see what's in this shuttle. A Zealot comes out. Another Zealot.
Where's the Reaver? There's nothing inside there. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Doesn't matter. Well, I guess there was nothing in that shuttle. I could have sworn he had Reaver, but never mind.
I must be crazy. Is there no Reaver tech?
Okay, now
I'm like, where are the Zerg units? What matchup is this?
I thought there was, but I guess I'm wrong. Anyways, whatever. He's got these
seriously
there now.
I'm sorry, guys.
He doesn't have Zealot legs yet. That's like Bermuda almost had enough to crush that. He just didn't quite. It's funny because a lot of those units are actually.
Oh, he did have the tech.
Yeah.
Okay.
Weird.
Now I feel really validated. Okay.
Yeah.
This is all I needed.
Well, this is.
I needed some closure on this. Okay, so we were not crazy for thinking that. I was like, damn. I'm so into seeing Reaver drops. I'm just deciding a game is happening. He can actually still fake this then.
Yeah, it's a little bit tough. Like, these Goliaths make it really tough for the shuttle to get in.
Gotta believe Ro16.
There's a lot of mines there. You gotta start sending some Zealots in now, I feel.
These Protosses, if you hang on, if you don't lose that Nexus, oh my god, don't do it!
Oh, not bad, not bad.
Okay. Another
Get in
scan,
there.
though. He wants to try to get that.
Down goes the Nexus. He's like, all right, the Nexus is dead. It's time to go.
Yeah. Now I'll kill this army and rebuild my Nexus. Okay, now
Oh,
some of these scare shots.
That's a good shot, but I don't know if he has enough to finish off
By
the
the way,
tanks.
this eBay is a hero because it's soaking up so many other shots. Now, again, Terran's still on 2 bases. He's making a third. But let's see. I mean, there's no more tanks in this. He just needs to block the ramp. He needs to block the ramp.
Yeah, he definitely does not want to let those up, but he's got to target these mines down. Oh my god, oh my god.
Oh, this is so hard to watch.
Good goon pull up towards the front there. Oh, that mine. Okay, I think Sharp's finally done it here. I think he's done enough damage. Yeah.
Oh, that's annoying.
I would say so. Look at this. He can like pick off observers in this type of situation as well. He has scans. He has a ranged Goliath.
You gotta be careful though. If he can break this position, I'm not saying that Protoss will win, but let's just keep this open for now, because if he can try to break this down and he can drive away that third base and maybe make a Nexus, Terran are in a very strange way incredibly flimsy when they do these 2 base mass factories.
It's true.
Where it looks like they're winning and they seem to be killing it.
Well, yeah.
Right, there it is. GG.
Yeah, he does win, but to your point, you're right, because you call it 2 base mass factory, right? But really, it's only a mass factory for a 2 base push because you're on 4 facts. But then when the game gets later at all, if you both lose your whole army and you have 4 facts and he has 8 gates, he's making so many more units than you. So yeah, it's really important to retain those early units in this type of rush.
So Sharp has tied it up 1-1 in this best of 5. Although I will say Bermuda did not look that bad at all.
No, he looked totally fine.
He's playing a really clean, standard PvT. Anyways, guys, we're going to a break. When we come back, Game 3, Bermuda versus Sharp here in the KSL.
We're too late. This entire city must be purged.
자, 2세트 시작이 됐습니다. 오버로드는 엉뚱한 방향으로 출발을 끊고 있는 것이 보이고 있네요. AD에서 11시에서 경기를 시작했습니다만 한시적적으로 경기를 출발을 끊고 있는 임홍규 선수, 그리고 1대0으로 임홍규 선수를 누르고 있는 김재훈 선수입니다. 최근에 경기 중후반 운영 끌고 가서 임홍규를 이기기라는 것은 쉽지 않다라고 다들 알고 계시거든요. 근데 운영이 첫 번째 세트는 완벽했습니다.
정말 좋았죠. 보통 12 앞마당을 하기 위해서 저렇게 오버로드를 보냅니다. 왜냐하면은 오버로드가 입구를 가다가 프로브를 만나면은 바로 스폰 입구를 짓고, 프로브를 안 만나면 12 앞마당. 왜? 프로브가 왔는데도 계속해서 드론을 찍고 있으면은 앞마당 게릴라 당하지 않습니까?
그렇죠.
그래서 임홍규 선수도 거리가 멀고 오버로드 방향을 딱 보아하니 12 앞마당을 준비한 것 같고, 임홍규 선수가 되게 단순한 부분이 있어요. 뭐 예를 들어서 방금처럼 그 두 번째 멀티, 일명 3용이 멀티에다 해처리 입혀서 운영을 하다 지지 않았습니까? 그럼 이를 바득바득 갈면서 또 해서 이겨야지. 이게 아니라 이번엔 이걸로 졌으니까 다른 걸 한번 해볼까? 이런 좀.
근데 지금 김재훈 선수도 센터블이에요.
이거 잘벌이 이거는 칸 아래다 지었죠.
아니, 이게 너무 큰 쇼맨십인 게요. 지금 저 지금
정답.
수정이라고 해야 될까? 저게 저기다 지으라고 지금 표시를 해준 건데. 역시 악동입니다.
이모
그냥 안 해요.
필요 없어.
네.
네, 본인 앞마당에
이거는
네, 셀프 마페러시를 하고 있네요. 저거는
아니
마페러시를 하기 위한 해처리 위치지.
아니
자 이제 그러면 냉정하게 생각해봅시다. 이거는 뭐냐면 본인이 고른 맵이거든요. 이거는 이몽규 선수의 심리를 말해주는 거 아닌가요?
아니 지금
실수가
이거 정말 큰 실수고 사실 프로
예.
경기에서 잘 나오지 않는 실수인데 뭐 세 번째 멀티나 추가적인 멀티를 질 때 실수는 종종 나와도 앞마당에 심지어 저렇게 표시가 돼 있는데
물음표 지금
네, 지금 근데 지금 더 중요한 건요. 김재훈이 생더블 이후에 지금
그러니까.
정찰하면서 12화까지 봤는데
안전하게.
상대가 해처리도 잘못 줬네. 이러면 이 경기 정말 기분
예,
좋고
기분
쉽게 풀어갈 수 있다고 생각합니다.
자 물론 뭐 확대 해석하자면 쇼맨십으로 이러고도 이긴다라는 걸 보여줄 수 있을지는 모르겠습니다만 어쨌든 실수는 실수예요.
네, 저거는 사실 쇼맨십이라기보다는
그렇죠.
실수입니다.
그러니까 확대
엄청
해석하자면.
네,
실수는
실수죠.
맞는데 만약에 이런 식으로 실수를 하고 이겼다. 이러면 김재원 선수 입장에서 타격이 큽니다. 모르는 게
그러니까,
약이라고
네,
차라리 모르는 게 나아요. 근데 이몽규 선수가 막 세계 대회 나가서 퍼포먼스 한 거
네.
이런 거 보면은
예.
저거는 이몽규식 진짜 쇼맨십 표적할 수도 있고요.
자 보도록 하죠. 결과는 이제 알 수 있겠죠.
생각보다 저글링이 많습니다. 지금
예.
많아요.
자 이번에도 프로브 보여주고 있고요.
네, 만약 계속 저글링이 나온다면 본인이 실수했다는 걸 안 걸 수도 있어요. 보통 프로 선수들 간의 경기에서 저런 실수를 하면은 이제 운영을 많이 안 가고 공격적으로 그냥 게임을 끝내는 선택을
이몽규
많이 하더라고요.
선수가 앞마당 해처리 잘못 준 거 아는 것 같아요.
프로브 커트하고 나서
저글링만
수비형
찍기
저거 할
시작하네요.
때는 저런 식으로 저글링이 많이 안 찍힙니다.
그렇죠.
지금은 드론이 나올 때예요. 근데
자.
저글링이 나왔다. 이거 더 한 번 더 기다렸다 가야 돼요. 지금은 너무 빠르고
네.
한 번 더 기다렸다가 저글링으로 몰아붙이고 뮤탈리스크로 끝낼 생각해야 됩니다.
그렇죠.
예. 자 일단 스파이어
네.
테크 그리고 라바가 일제히 다 변태 들어갔고요. 지금도
네.
적지 않은 숫자의 저글링이 보유되어 있습니다.
네.
저글링
네.
지금 이몽규 선수는요. 2번 라바 튀어나오는 순간 저글링 다 달려서요. 게이트 부셔버리고 강제로 저글링 밀어 넣은 이후에 그냥
네.
뮤탈로 끝내버려야 됩니다.
네, 근데 지금 이 커세어가
네.
말씀하신 것처럼 보자마자 바로 또 대처할 수 있거든요.
지금이에요.
앞마당으로
이몽규는 이게
가서?
앞마당 오는
네.
순간 지금입니다. 지금 달려야 돼요.
그렇죠.
이젠 걸려요.
이제 걸렸거든요. 해처리도 없고
확인.
드론도 없기 때문에
확인. 자
아니요,
일제
이몽규?
저글링.
이거 통하겠는데요?
자,
질럿 두 개가 밖에서 놀고 있어서
아 늦었어요.
게이트.
게이트웨이 깨질 것 같습니다. 일단 게이트웨이 불을
네, 이거
끄고
통합니다. 통해요.
통해요.
캐논 둘러싸기 시작한 이몽규 선수.
통했어요.
이몽규의
와,
이몽규 잡았습니다.
분노의 저글링 러시.
뚫렸어요.
와, 이몽규 진짜 대단한 선수네요.
나 건드렸어.
저글링 좀 해줘.
저글링. 진짜 이거는 뭐라고 해석을 할 수가 없는 우리의 차원을 넘어서는 이몽규 선수.
지금은요.
And so now we seamlessly transition back into the live show. Woo! Woo! That's
Is it
right.
that game we were just watching? Is
No,
it this
it's not.
game that we were watching
It's
before?
not live we're playing this time. Who knows? Whoa! Whoa! Welcome back. We're tied up 1-1. I got to say, Bermuda is actually looking really strong.
Yeah, he's looking nice.
I think we could go to Game 5 here for sure.
Yeah, and the thing is, I could see Bermuda taking this down. If he keeps playing like semi-standard play, but defends against vulture harassment a little bit better. The thing is, that's like an easy thing to say. Defend against vulture harassment better. Sharp is like
Especially
the
when you
number
use
one
that
vulture
voice.
harasser ever. Like, well, right now at least, right?
Right.
Right now, I mean, he gets vultures more than anyone because he tries more than anyone, and he's very good at it. So it's hard to do, but if he can reduce damage from these vultures, I think he can be in a really good spot going forward.
Yeah, I agree. I'm curious to see if Bermuda's going to do any cheesy stuff. You know, you don't have to as Protoss, but it's always available, just like you can Hydra Bust a Protoss, right? A Protoss can always do a proxy, you know, some kind of a gas steal, depending on the map, of course. But so far, he wants to play a macro game, for sure.
I mean, I think that his macro is good enough. He can definitely do it. And it's not Sharp's exact forte. He actually likes mixing up with some of these more aggressive plays when he can. Anyways, Aztec
All right.
is the map of choice here for Bermuda.
Montezuma's eyes just opened in his grave. He said, what? You telling me Bermuda and Sharp are playing on my map?
Was Montezuma the Aztec leader?
Yes.
He wasn't the Mayan leader?
No, I believe he was the Aztec leader.
Okay. It wasn't the Incan leader.
No, it was not the Toltec leader either. Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
Was he the last of the Mohicans, or?
No, he was
Okay.
not the last of the Mohicans. So stupid. Didn't they, I think I read this on, you know that old blog Maddox?
Yes.
There's something where he was making fun of a car called the Aztec, and he was talking about how ugly it was, and it's like only a car that Montezuma himself would be proud of.
What?
I don't know. I'll show it to you later. It's like from something way. That's from a blog as old as StarCraft 1 itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
The old internet's so much better than the new internet.
Yeah, man. Okay. Yeah, the internet was better before we had social media. Much better. At least we got Twitch. Anyways, game 3. Let's do this.
Take it away, Tasteless.
I can't. I forgot how to cast. I sit here paralyzed, shaking. Orthosis keep casting until I find my footing. I can't do it. It's going to be all alphabet soup over here, okay?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm trying to imagine forgetting how to cast. I just like sit there. I'm like, wait, what am I supposed to do? It's like
I panic. I'm
talk.
like, I got nothing to say. I'm like, A, B, C, D, E, F, H. No! I can't even do the alphabet right. Oh, hold on. Everybody's got their signs up. Let's see who's got a good sign.
Hey. You're talking about signs, Tasteless, but right now there's going to be a proxy gate. Maybe even 2.
Maybe we're just going to make 2 pylons there and lose. Who knows?
Maybe he'll proxy 2 gates, lose that pylon. You'll tell us it's okay.
From USA! Uplex is awesome. This is a cool venue. We're like on top of this big badass building up here. What is that? Oh, he's got a sore throat. I thought he might have been pregnant. I was confused about which thing that was. Okay. I was like, is it a boy or a girl? Okay.
Just so you know, that was a thermometer, and that is generally not how you tell if you're pregnant.
I don't know. I've never had a baby before. I have no idea.
Jeez, Tasteless. Oh my god.
Okay.
Well, the thing is, Tasteless really doesn't know because he
No,
just takes the temperature of someone to check. He's like, no, I guess not. It's 37.4. That can't mean anything.
Okay.
My god.
Oh, this is fun. Okay. I guess those, we've had a lot of signs up there, but I guess we have to wait for the next part because we can't show more signs because this proxy means this game could end pretty quickly. Actually, though, sometimes you have these proxies and the Terran barely holds, the Protoss barely gets back on his feet and goes into like the longest PvT ever.
That could be. Now, it's only 1 gate, and this is great placement of the barracks. You can micro right there where we just highlighted. Send Marines in there, and probes and Zealots can't get in there at all. So, you know, he's got the micro hole, and we'll see if he scouts the center. I guess when the Zealot gets there, though, he is going to be very aware that there's a proxy gate.
Okay, here comes that Zealot now.
Oh!
If you're just fast
that would've been
enough.
the sickest kill.
Yeah, if you're just quick enough, occasionally you can A-click and actually get that SCV. Okay, so in theory, if everything were to be controlled perfectly, I think that the Terran can hold, but if you make 1 or 2 mistakes and this Zealot gets its hits off, oh, that was so good.
Really, really fantastic micro. Against one Zealot, this isn't too hard. It's when that second one comes that the micro becomes a little bit more complicated because you can have them go in different directions. You can try flanks and things like that. You can try to block the micro hole occasionally. All right.
Okay, so let's just going to continue to pursue here. Now, ideally, if you can get that SCV making the factory, that's what you want. The more you slow the factory down, the better this rush is.
Oh, and now that he's got too many Marines to utilize the micro hole correctly, he has to walk all the way through. Great micro, though, still. Wow! That was good. Wow!
Whoa!
Jesus. Whoa! It's a good thing that the one on the bottom was the hurt one.
Well,
Well, Vulture's about to pop out.
This is a bit of an awkward moment here for the Protoss. I mean, when you invest in those gateways, or I should say one gateway in the middle of the map, there's a moment where the Terran can get the upper hand here and really start to abuse the Protoss.
But he is actually...
Oh, that was sick!
That was swift, because if that dies, that becomes very sad. Now, all those are badly hurt, and he did not start his bunker yet. This is normally a rush to a bunker on high ground, because otherwise this Dragoon can come in and actually kill all this. Even without range, those Marines have 1 to 2 shots apiece on them. See? 1.
I was ready for it. I was waiting for it too.
And 2.
Well, I guess the rush ends now.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. I did it.
You did it. You can't even say the alphabet wrong, Artosis. Okay. So, Protoss is always forced into making a second gateway back in the main because you have to try to stabilize here. So Terran's going to try to expand.
He didn't make a bunker though. He was playing like really greedy. Kind of surprised that he did not make the bunker, but now he can force a cancel on this command center, which is really annoying. And guess how much a cancel costs? 100 minerals.
Yep.
Same as a bunker that he should have made on the high ground.
See?
Gasp.
See?
Gasp. Egads tasteless.
So the Vulture's going to try to come in here and do a counterattack. It looks like Sharp decides otherwise, but this is pretty awful right now for the Protoss. I mean, the Terran's stuck on low ground.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, guys, for those of you guys who are, I can only imagine there's a decent number of the chat that are StarCraft 2 players who are for some reason watching this while condemning StarCraft 1. But for those of you guys that watch StarCraft 2 and have not played StarCraft 1, you can miss on high ground. If you're on low ground and you're firing up in a high ground, so having the high ground advantage is crazy good.
It's gigantic, and you basically have to get Siege to get up there, and then it's still going to be dirty because he's going to have ranged goons up there. So everything about this is terrible for Sharp right now. He just was a little bit too greedy. I don't even understand because no one ever goes proxy gate, then doesn't make a second gate, and no one ever keeps this much pressure on and doesn't check you with goons. So if he had made the bunker, he would actually have his command center finishing pretty quickly here. He'd be in good shape.
Okay. What?
I'm not mad, Sharp. I'm just disappointed. Make the damn bunker.
I am, to be honest, a bit shocked he didn't make the bunker because once he held that off, the only hope for Bermuda was to try to delay the command center. Everything else is going to be fine here for the Terran. And now he's delayed the command center and he has control of the high ground. Now look at this. This is so hard for the Terran. The Terran wants to siege up and drive the Dragoons away. So the Dragoons back up. If this tank were to, say, go further to the right, in that little crack, the Dragoons will come over here and pounce. Okay.
2 volleys. Watch.
1 and 2.
2.
H. Oh, okay. Look at this. He's going to go around. He's like, I'll take you 2.
1, 2, 3,
3, 4.
Yeah.
5. Because one of the Dragoons died.
That's right. But yeah, it's like, I feel like Bermuda's playing just some pretty solid StarCraft here. And Sharp's solidity is not there. Like, he's a very good Terran at coming back in crazy situations, so maybe he still can. He has a dropship coming out. But the amount of damage that Bermuda has already caused to him, the fact that his Nexus is mining right now,
I feel like you have to expect a dropship with Sharps in the game, right? You almost should just blindly play against a dropship.
You should.
Because he's going to do it.
People have styles that they do. Oh my god. I can see that going wrong.
Yeah.
One misclick and you lose all the probes and the goon.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, now it's an even game, guys.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's how
things
this game
turn
can
on a
work.
guy.
Yeah.
Oh my
Looks
gosh.
like one mine unfortunately killed everything, and now this game is suddenly very close.
Oh, God. Okay, so I don't know if he wants to force his way down that ramp. That's a very dirty move if he does. Like, it could work, but it would probably backfire. Yeah, look at this now. He's just going to go into a DT drop? That's a fantastic play.
Oh, wow. That's...
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably not the most
when you force
orthodox way to play, but actually it's fine because...
When you force early siege mode, DT drop is like basically the powerful thing.
Yeah, well the thing is that they're not going to have, in this case, like turrets right away. They're not going to have the scans, and they're basically trying to counterbalance the game by getting in there, doing damage of their own, killing off workers. So I think Bermuda's doing a brilliant job navigating this game to what looks to be like a win.
He's taking a bit of damage though, harassment-wise.
And this should be the end of the harass here. Oh, what's up, buddy?
That's so big.
Come at me, bro. Come at me, bro. Come at me, bro. Okay.
Mini would have gone for that.
Yeah, Mini would have been like...
Oh.
Okay, so there's one DT up here. Now, the DT can still be utilized even if the shuttle's killed off. Oh, hello. This has got the Mission Impossible music playing with this DT over here.
Seriously. He's on the wire right now.
Yeah, no kidding. All right. Not my choice of what to attack, but... Oh! Ouch. Well, this is annoying. Okay.
Dude, well, this is
watching it happen. I'm like,
Well, here's the thing. We are watching some real Brood War here.
Yeah.
Things are going wrong.
It's hard to do everything
sides.
at once, guys. You got to do everything manually in the game. So.
Yeah. No, and it's actually way more fun to see a game like this, anyways.
Yeah.
And not kidding, Sharp is a top 4 Terran in the world, and Jaehoon is obviously one of the better Protosses out there, not the best, but you can see his play is really strong.
Oh, he's got to get this one. Oh!
Yeah, he's got the double Wraith. Oh my God.
Okay, this game has really gotten weird now.
Yeah,
and I feel like nobody's on the Protoss side is able to follow what they need to keep track of here.
It would be hard for this game to get more down and dirty than it already has been.
Yeah.
I believe that Sharp has actually taken the lead.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I mean, we saw, I believe it was a total of 5 DTs killed. The shuttle was killed. There had to have been an extra DT in that shuttle, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, indeed.
And now Sharp gets this command center up. That's Brood War, guys.
Yeah.
Because
the comeback potential in this game is bigger than anything, basically.
Well, the thing
only
is
Mario Kart has as much comeback potential.
Mario Kart is actually like skewed comeback potential, where it's like, you want a banana?
Well, Brood War is almost skewed
you want a turtle shell
potential as well, because like the more you have, the harder the game is.
Yeah.
You know, in a way.
Yeah.
In a way.
Well, the more ahead you get, then the more tasks you're juggling.
Yeah.
So let's say you're like Sharp here, and you were stuck on one base. You have a little bit less to juggle, right? Than Bermuda, who's on 2 bases and trying to get those DTs in there to get the kills.
And but to be fair, you know, in this game, it's like they think they're playing a 1v1, but Tasis is in the game and he got the lightning bolt. And you can see they both lost all their coins and spun out here. So it's a crazy game right now. We don't know how this one's going to end.
So I guess he just goes into Arbiter from here, 2-base Arbiter.
Absolutely.
The Templar text there.
Like no scouts, Tasis, duh.
Just one scout out there. Slowly chipping away.
You got a Corsair to counter those 2 raids.
He's like, all those Marines were low on HP. I should be fine with a scout.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. Again?
Not again!
Okay.
You know, was there another unit in there? I don't know. Maybe.
You ever notice that Dark Templars also have Ninja Turtle feet?
Do they?
Yeah. Next time we click on a Dark Templar, look at his feet. He's got Ninja Turtle feet.
I will look.
Yeah.
Do Zealots have those too? Yeah, they do, don't they?
Of course they have Ninja Turtle feet.
Tell me like
and the Thor does too, man.
Look, I know the game's been remastered, but the graphics aren't that good. I don't know what type of feet they have, Tasis. Tasis has this weird video game foot fetish thing. Tell me about Dragoon feet, Tasis. Which ones are your favorite?
I just want to touch them, that's all. Well, the push is coming out here now.
It's his special power. You can ask him about any video game character's feet, and he'll tell you all about them. I'm like, I know where Yoshi wears boots, but I'm sure you have the one picture of what's underneath that boot,
I've got a lot
Tasteless.
of drawings on my desk, I'll just say that. Oh, my God. So, oh, God. Oh, my cheeks hurt. Okay, these Dragoons are not going to cut it when these siege tanks are done sieging up. They have to back up. Meanwhile, a drop over here. And I think this might almost be too much damage. I mean, the Arbiter's not out yet. The DT goes down.
Well, he has a DT over here. Things should still be sloppy. Oh, not that sloppy, I
Had
guess.
a DT.
But you wait until this Arbiter comes out. It could kill the Wraith and the Marine.
Exactly. And then slowly kill all these tanks.
Very. I mean, all the buildings look dead first, but
in the hope that Bermuda or Sharp has Arbiter blindness and just can't see that.
Yeah, it's a real condition. Okay, so the DTs actually are starting to clean things.
There it is, Ninja Turtle feet.
I didn't see it that time, guys. Died too quick. What are these little pin feet for the Dragoon?
Definitely pin feet.
It's got half a high heel, just the heel part. The only reason they bounce is because they have 4 legs.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Take one of those legs and Groot cannot walk around as a tripod or tosis.
Do you see this, by the way? He's sending DTs in one at a time right now.
Yeah, it's smart. He's hoping that it's because there's no eBay. In fact, Bermuda at this point in time is making the eBay in the push, funnily enough. Uh-oh. Invisibility.
Ooh, GT and Arbor. He's got to kill that Wraith with this Arbor. That's what I want to see.
Halfway, I'm expecting to see a third command center with a scanner in the main here.
I know.
Like, how many scans do you have,
Seriously?
man? GG.
Oh
Sharp
God.
did it. Wow, what a comeback.
Yeah.
Great
That was
game.
a good one. That was a really good one. The fact that he was able to come back from there has so much to do with the Wraiths killing multiple dropships. He killed like 3 shuttles, one of which protected his Seachank on the high ground of the natural. It's just Sharp starports are really taking a toll on Bermuda here.
Yeah.
You'd think his units would get lost, but they don't, despite the Bermuda name.
That's right. They're always found, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sharp knows he just needs to squeeze out one more win. But this has been a tough series. Bermuda should have had a closer there. And look at him. He knows it, too. He's like,
he's
man.
frustrated.
Now he's got to win 2 games. He had that one.
Yeah. And that was his map choice, too. So that was the #1 map he wanted to play on here.
Yes. Yikes.
Yes.
It's not good.
Yikes.
So
we have left Eddie and Circuit Breaker.
Right.
Because I watched this time for the vetoes. It's really hard because it's on the weirdest screen ever.
Yeah.
You know, like, I almost feel like the map vetoes here, it's kind of like, you've seen those subliminal messages, right? Where, like, you're watching a movie and then one frame of a Pepsi comes up.
It's like that scene in Fight Club.
That's the vetoes. It's like, I'm trying to cast, I'm, like, looking at the camera and stuff and, like, trying to look at the players and have a conversation about them, and then they're like, there's a map veto. Oh, it's gone.
Yeah. We'll find out in a second anyways. Again, guys, if you watched Season 1 of the KSL, it was the winner that chose the map. Now in Season 2, it's the loser who chooses the map, which is why we're having longer days.
It's
I
already
think
a better
series.
season.
Yeah.
Better season, straight up.
Straight up, bro. So we're going to find out what that map is. Bermuda, though, it's going to be a rough, whether it's a taxi ride or a train ride home, if he loses the series. He's going to be thinking about that game, Game 3 specifically. Because really, he had that in the bag. Comebacks in Brood War are more real than I think almost any other esport you can find, really. And that game exemplified that. He had the edge, but he had to keep track of a lot of different things on the map, even if he's on 2 bases. Having those DTs go in there, stopping the drops, macroing, positioning your Dragoons outside the Terran's natural. Too much.
Yes, indeed. All right, what map are we going to go on to next? Circuit Breakers. So this is our big macro map. I guess Eddie is kind of as well. Surprised he chose Circuit Breakers, though. Okay.
Why are you surprised?
I feel like Eddie is a little bit better for PvT than Circuit Breakers is, but, I mean, maybe he just feels comfortable here. He knows he has to play both the maps. Whatever.
I, again, think we might even see more standard play here from Bermuda. He's really just trying to go head-to-head here.
Yeah.
I think if Bermuda can do what he's done in the previous games, keep that lead, and just not lose the drops. I mean, you can see Sharp. When I think of Sharp, I think of 2 units, Vultures and Dropships.
Yes.
You need to be able to hold that off. I think out of all the Terran players in the world, this is the one that you might want to make a forge against.
Oh, absolutely.
Just get some cannons up.
If
He's
you can
so
get to
aggressive.
that point.
That aggression is oftentimes a double-edged sword, right? If you're hemorrhaging Vultures, you're losing Dropships, then, you know, you're doing the work for the Protoss, essentially, as a Terran player.
Yeah. Let's see how Bermuda can handle it this time. Sharp looking for one more map win and another Terran in the next round, of course. Bermuda, if he does beat Sharp here, is going to be one of only 2 Protosses in the round of 8.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, Game Force ready. Let's do this.
Tasselcraft, where are we at? What are we doing?
We're on Circuit Breakers. We're at the Uplex Center here at Tosis. So we have. Actually, I gotta wait till he's on the screen again. Terran in the bottom right, Protoss in the upper right.
Okay. So, no real advantage one way or the other here, I would say. Yeah. So, here we are. Excited to see what build orders that they want to open up with. This is a pretty popular map for Nexus First, but Nexus First is a bit of a gamble. If you go Nexus First and they scout you first, you're probably going to lose.
Oh, that's pretty good. Wow.
That guy better win.
Look at that guy on the right. That's a caster. He had his mic right by his mouth, too.
Yeah.
In-game caster, man.
Yeah, that was Tasis without his wig. That's who that was.
Yeah, man.
It's totally cool.
Yeah. Or my fake beard. You know, I'm completely hairless.
Yeah. Well, the wig is a full. It's like one of those Santa masks.
The beard is basically just a chin strap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We're having a lot of fun today.
Yeah, we are. Rightfully so.
So, again, builds, at least for the start, nothing crazy. No proxy. Of course, you can't really gas seal on this map. You can't really do that on 4-player maps unless you were to just roll the dice and be like, oh, okay, I found you. And the guy's like, what? He has to pause the game. He's like, are you cheating?
Yeah. Well, happens more on ladder than I care to admit. So, I mean, it's no gasless expand or anything. That's really fallen out of favor a bit with Terran players lately in PvP. Not surprised about that. As far as Bermuda goes, I kind of have been enjoying this style of, he's been scouting a little bit late. Like, he's done a lot of Zealot scouts today. I guess he's going to send out a probe this game. And is he going to go to south? Let's see. Well,
yes,
he's going to see the SCV regardless.
Right,
So
boop.
now he definitely knows where the Terran is. And you never know when you see the probe out on the map where the Protoss is, because they have
so
such a range of scout times.
Right.
Whereas with Terran, it's like, no, you scout on like 13 or 14.
Right.
So you kind of, have it a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot more flexibility for the Protoss. A lot of different builds just for the Protoss in general on this. Terran has a range of builds, but it is sort of more rigidly stuck with it. You need to get tanks up, you need to get a base up, or try to close the game right away.
A lot of them are, very all in if you don't make that command center quickly. So, SCV's scouting around. Nothing too crazy going on at the moment. And now we wait.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much else we can break down here until we really get a grasp on what kind of tech Bermuda's going to have here, or if he just tries to expand, which I'm kind of expecting him to do. Get a few Dragoons out here, try to take a base.
Yeah, I would expect that as well, as quickly as he can really get it up. But you got to be careful as well, because you never really know 100%. Well, if he gets down and scouts that bunker, you'll know, most likely. Well, sometimes you fake it with the bunker, but Sharp is someone who mixes in too fast, so you've got to be wary of that as well.
But not this time around. It seems like Sharp is pretty confident that if he gets into mid-game, if he gets drop ships out, he's probably going to be fine. I mean, he's taken a pretty big beating in 2 out of these 3 games, and he's still up 2-1.
Well, this game shouldn't be a dropship game. In these types of spots, it's really hard to get that to work
Okay,
out.
actually, I stand corrected. I like your point there.
Like if he was
I think in
top
these
left maybe or
positions, it's
something,
like, if like, are you going to drop just behind those minerals and there's just Dragoons there?
You're going to go around the whole map to
Yeah.
get into his main. It's like not really worth it. So you're not really as afraid of a dropship play here. But Sharp is just taking a low ground command center with that bunker. It's not a completely uncommon build to just make that bunker right off the bat. I think that he is kind of looked at what these games have been so far.
Probe's just waiting.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I got all day, buddy. Oh, and he actually sends it back.
Ooh. Now this is a tricky move right here. To go for the quick Citadel. Obviously, he's going to get into DT immediately. Might not be a lot of DTs. It could be super fast Arbiter. But because when you see your opponent, did he see the bunker? I'm not entirely sure.
I thought he saw the bunker.
Okay, because when you see the bunker,
DT drop.
a lot of times the bunker will point towards smaller amounts of detection early on.
Yeah.
Like you don't go to the bunker and make turrets, for
Right.
instance.
Well, the thing about the bunker is that's like supposed to be your foothold on actually defending the base itself. That's why it was so shocking when we saw the bunker not made in Game 3. We thought, oh, okay, wow, you really are just confident this guy's not going to do anything. So it's going to be a quick DT drop coming in here. And this is kind of sneaky because we did see DTs used in Game 3.
It is just straight up a 2-fact after command center from Sharp. So he's going to have mines. But against a drop, obviously, that's not so useful. We'll see if he throws down an armory or an eBay. He will be throwing one of those down as he moves out. But yeah, let's see how quickly he hits as well, because it's tricky. Normally with this type of build, you're trying to hit before Reavers are going to be ready, right? So you want to hit basically before 6:30, but DTs actually come out before then if you build them quickly. So that can make it a little bit tricky. If a DT is out and ready to defend before he lays mines, Sharp almost has to run away or sacrifice his whole army.
Again, keep in mind, Sharp is kind of in the dark here. He's not totally sure, but the poke is going to happen here. The Dragoons are not going to be enough. Now, you have an odd number of Dragoons when you're doing a build like this.
Yeah.
It is not enough to hold. You need that detection.
Yeah.
And mines are being planted in a pattern that suggests that Sharp thinks there's a Dragoon's going to come in from a different angle, but in fact, these DTs are coming in here right now.
Well, he sees exactly what's going on, so he does have to pull back behind the mines. He can still put on a little bit of pressure. He has to be careful about mine drags here. Now, the nightmare scenario is occurring. This DT drop going across the map, look at that. He just started Z-bait. He's going to have maybe 2 scans, but Swift Micro by Bermuda should be enough to deal massive damage here.
Okay, here comes that drop right now.
Look at that. Oh, my God.
We don't have any turret, nothing. And here's the thing, guys. Once you scan, you just pick right back up.
Yeah, now he's trying to micro on 2 fronts as well. This is super, super tough. Okay, he's actually just going to move in. Oh,
now here's the thing, man. The shuttle's not over here at the natural, so he can actually scan like this and kill the DT. Oh!
Oh, that mine was insane. And now the second one coming out.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me?
Man, Bermuda is crushing.
Yeah, he's winning on both fronts here. In fact, he's now able to send probes back over here. This is so good. Ooh. Okay, it's actually going to be a much scrappier game than I thought.
Yeah.
The CC's been lifted. I think Bermuda might settle and not push too much further with that, instead trying to control that area. But these vultures are now on the low ground. However, it is an inevitability that the Protoss is going to have enough Dragoons to come down and move this out.
He's going to try to push this ramp again. No micro there.
Yeah, none.
Yeah, just at the very last second. Could have targeted that mine and done a bit better. But look, the DT drop is still kind of keeping Sharp back a bit. It's going to take him a while to get back out.
Now keep in mind, guys, we did see Bermuda get a huge lead in Game 3 and then throw.
That's true. Could occur.
Sharp is still, if Sharp is needing to plant mines offensively in hopes that they're going to go off on top of these Dragoons.
He's lucky that that goon died, I tell you.
Yeah, no
Still
kidding.
going to lose so many probes, so look at this.
Okay, we're at even supplies here. I would be very curious to see how many workers are on each side, because a lot of workers were killed here for Bermuda. I think Sharp got most of his SCVs out. Right?
Yeah,
he just lifted and went back to the main.
SCVs, but there's a good amount of probes still left, actually, when you look at that.
Yeah, look at that.
It's not terrible. Not terrible, but yeah, that's a healthy SCV count. I tell you, I feel like if I could go up and coach Bermuda for a moment, he might be in. It's like I just want to see him make a full wall. Just no matter what Sharp's doing, you just make a full wall.
Oh, okay. You mean wall yourself in and
just
just use the shuttle?
Well, I mean, in any of these games, because every single game Bermuda is having a lead, and then vultures are ruining everything.
Right.
You know. And he's having a hard time. Sharp is so good at that harassment.
Okay, SCVs are transferred, and that tells Bermuda that, in fact, there is another base out here. Now, if Bermuda has enough Dragoons, he can actually come out and start to hit this base. I mean, with no tanks here, if you have enough Dragoons, if you have observers, you can do a lot of damage.
Ooh, good catch here on the shuttle. Won't be able to quite kill it off, but does force it away. And I think that's pretty much the end of that drop harassment. But Sharp is kind of in a funny spot, right? His base that he's actually taken, because it's more important to get it up than to get the right one up.
Right.
Is that mineral base. So he is super short on supply as far as gas goes, which means if Bermuda focuses heavily on Dragoons, it's going to be hard for Sharp to put together any sort of attack.
It's one of these odd moments where it's EDP where suddenly the Protoss can simply push with his army.
Yeah.
Normally it's kind of the other way around where it's Terran that can siege up and Protoss has to respect it. But yeah, with tank counts that low too.
Yeah, it's a weird situation. And I mean, you want to get your upgrades still going. The more upgrades you get, the less tanks you can afford, the less factories you can afford. He has to get his second gas going. He does start a command center there, but that's going to take a long time.
By the way, it is looking like we're going to go into a super long game now. This was an action-packed back-and-forth slugfest of a match so far. Now they're both getting 3 bases. We see an armory's upgrading. And we know that Arbiter Tech is on the way. Bermuda is going to continue to roam with this shuttle and try to identify if and when a fourth base is taken here for Terran, or if Sharp's going to try to power up. Of course, with the DT, you can kind of come out and try to deny that. And he gets confirmation of the third base over there by Sharp.
Yeah, and it looked like Sharp was thinking about maybe taking the fourth, which I think is a good call. With how late his second gas is in this game, there's not any, he's not going to hit a 2-1 timing that we normally see or anything like that. Obviously, all timings are pushed way back based off of what we've seen, but like what is this move out is kind of funny. He's very, very, very vulture heavy. I think he has 3 tanks.
Yeah, these kind of pushes. I think there's a term for this is like tornado push, right? Where it's just mass vultures, like Zealous used to do a lot of pushes that look like this, where it was all vulture heavy.
Yeah. Hey, you get those good offensive mines off, and you can make something like this work sometimes.
A lot of times when you have this many vultures, that the dragoons are hitting the vultures and not the tanks. The tanks actually do a lot of damage, even not in team mode.
Yeah, actually they have higher single target DPS out of Siege, so it's kind of funny like that. Sieging and unsieging them is a difficult thing indeed.
So the shuttle's going to come up here, and that may be the only hope for 40 to push.
Oh, doesn't he have Goliaths? Yeah, they just picked it off.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, so I think he might just be dead here.
Yeah, things definitely went wrong here for Bermuda. I feel like he had a big enough army that this did not have to go down like this, but Sharp definitely hit a very sharp time.
Wow, that's why you're the best there, Toshi. To be honest, man, this is, you can see that like Bermuda has a really good understanding of the game, but his execution's not quite clean. And Sharp, you knock him down, but he immediately is able to get back on his feet and come at you.
Yeah, this was a really impressive attack. I didn't like see this. It's almost like, yeah, very, very clever, good stuff from Sharp to get out here and make this happen in such a weird economy after such a bizarre opening. But he is going to kill everything, and it looks like Sharp's going to go to the round of 8.
Yep. That should be all she wrote here. I mean, we have some Zealots without speed coming out and fighting Vultures, which is never a good thing. Right now, Bermuda is trying to just rely on the Arbiter with the Cloak to buy time, but behind this, Sharp continues to grow. When Sharp gets that fourth base up, it's going to be 4 bases to 2, which is just like, as far as the math goes, your gateway units are never going to beat what's coming out of factories in a situation like that.
The most amazing recall to have a chance, and then like everything would have to go wrong. They don't have detection against your second Arbiter army.
Yeah,
like yeah.
I think even if you had the most amazing recall, I think the army just goes in the man and kills it. And you're like, all right, move on out.
Not if the army's across the map, but Tasteless, I got to tell you. There's some recalls, okay? That can't be stopped.
His Terran player side's coming out. Tasteless. The things I've seen.
You have no idea.
The things I've seen, Tasteless.
The things that recall can do, Tasteless.
Yeah. Well, this is just Bermuda is putting up a pretty impressive effort, but with the Vultures coming in here now, all these workers are going to go down, and this army of Bermuda is kind of zoned out. He's actually going to go and try to counterattack here. I believe Sharp, yeah, here it is. I think Sharp's already ready, though, right?
Oh, yeah,
there's tanks over here.
He's more than ready. Poor Bermuda. These Vultures just constantly get in. They're like ants or something, It's like you can't keep them out of your house.
Yeah. I mean, this is pretty bad. So Bermuda's, I mean, I don't blame him for trying, but when we see the big picture here, there's no way that it's going to do any damage.
That's a good mind trick. So, Bermuda is running around, man. Yep. He's doing what he can, at least. Running into some mines here and there. Oh, my gosh.
Not a lot else to say in this moment, guys. Bermuda is dying.
Well, look, he's going to clear this army up here. So he made a bunch of moves back and forth. He gets to clear this attack. I guess he can remake his third Nexus. But we are going to see Sharp eventually hit a very strong attack coming out. I feel like what Sharp needs to do here is kind of defend right now. Just add factories and then, like, either Bermuda will attack in just completely suicidally, or you just move out eventually and you'll have so much there's nothing he can do.
I'm actually blown away that Bermuda's not dead entirely and we're going to commercial, to be honest. This is kind of crazy that he's actually managed to last, but I think Sharp's also playing in a very cautious fashion, right?
When there's an Arbiter, there's
a way.
Right? Yeah, and he's going to hit this fourth. He might actually be able to kill it. Let's see. Do it! There's not a better time. He's like, no, I'll let that mine a little bit longer. We're fine.
So
Start that third Nexus. Let's go. God.
wow. Okay.
That was really, I feel like that was the chance right there. It's like, all right.
Oh, he's gonna come in again.
Oh, chance is
Fakey,
back.
fakey.
Well, it's worse this time. There's more units here. Right on the army. Okay.
Okay, here we go.
I mean, decent stasis, I guess.
Yeah, not bad. Okay, so here comes the rest of the army. This is going to be cleaned up.
Yeah, there's mines on the way out, so he can't even micro his way out of here.
Yeah. I don't know what to say, guys. He's dead.
Hey, man, I'm just happy Taze that the only Protoss that I respect is the only Protoss in the round of 8.
GG, Sharp did it.
Bermuda, rather, played a nice series, I think.
Yeah, he certainly did.
In fact, this whole tournament for him looked pretty good.
I gotta say, Sharp's one of the most entertaining Terrans to watch.
Oh, absolutely,
I mean, this guy is always coming out swinging. He gets behind, but he knows how to come back.
The scrappiest games, like every series he ever plays ever. First off, everything was 3-2s, and it's just crazy scrappiness all over the place. Like, he gets ahead, he gets behind. He gets behind her, he gets ahead. He gets even. I don't know.
And you can see Bermuda pretty beaten up. I think he had a great showing today. I think the last game was probably his weakest, but I look forward to casting more of Bermuda's games down the road.
I think he'll be back in probably the next KSL season, next ASL season. His play looks like it's of the level, because he played every matchup in this tournament. He played against Movie, he played against Larva, he played against Sharp. Barely lost against Larva and Sharp, who are both top 4 of their race. And he beat Movie, who's, you know, he's not top 4 Protoss, but he's really good. You know, he's a top 8 Protoss for sure. So, looking at Jaehoon as a new addition to our regular cast of lineups.
Nice. So that's a result for the first half of today, but we still have a whole other best of 5 coming up here, and that's going to be Modesty versus Leda coming up after our commercial break.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting match, too. Leda is more than a little addicted to 2-port Wraith. So it's something you haven't seen before and you want to see. Unless you watched it last time, then you've seen it already. But you want to see it again.
I love the way you put it, Artosis.
Yeah, I'm very convincing.
Okay, we're going to be going to an interview momentarily here and see how Sharp is feeling now that he is the second to last player to secure a spot in the top 8.
Hello guys, we're going to have an interview with Sharp, the winner of today's first KSL match. Congratulations on the win. Thank you. A lot of fans are here today rooting for you. How do you feel right now? You know, like advancing to the round of 8, 2 seasons in a row, it feels good. And I'm happy that the fans got to watch me win. You know, from the waiting lobby, you actually talked with Bermuda and the casters. Yes, I talked to them about the games, the in-game stuff. And you know, Bermuda and I had a deep talk about the games, upcoming games. You know, I've prepared a lot of strategies beforehand, and I think I can show them in the next match. The first set was definitely unfortunate for you. Were there any pressures after that? The first set was very, the map itself was very unfavorable for me. And then, you know, just macro-wise, I played really bad. And after losing the first set, I just took my breath again. I just got the rhythm again, and then I was able to win the other 3. The third set, you actually had a really rough time in the early phase of the game, where you startled or taken aback by the enemy. You know, I had the mindset that if I lost this set, things would go really bad for me. And I knew that the Protoss really has a slow first expansion rate. And then I really took that to my advantage and I exploited that. You mentioned the dropship play. You weren't planning to go for the Stargate tech. In the best of 5, did you have the feeling that if you engage a lot of skirmishes, you would you'd be able to win? Bermuda is a very capable player, but I had confidence that I could win. The 4th set definitely was the highlight today. You somehow gained the lead in the 4th set. And I knew that the enemy would poke me with the Reaver or the Dark Templar. And then, I was just calmly able to defend it. And killing a lot of his probes definitely was the winning factor for me. You're saying that the previous game definitely helped you in terms of mentality. There were a little bit of misplays in the games today. How do you feel about that? Yes, definitely. I showed a little lack of skills today, and I'll try to improve on that in the next match. You've advanced to the round of 8 recently a lot, and I'm sure you're very determined in this KSL as well. I have a lot of fans here and at home, and thanks to them, I really gained the motivation and the support to get me going. We look forward to your performance in Last Bowl. Thank you to the fans for coming here. There's actually a fan. It's his birthday today, and thank you for coming here on your birthday. And thank you to all my scrim partners. And that's it for the interview.
Well, someone got their birthday wish.
Yeah,
Shout out from Sharp. Damn.
Indeed. Okay.
Run over there and be like, it's my birthday too. He's like, really? I'm like, no.
It's really weird of you to lie about that.
Yes.
He's like, are you really my fan? You're like, not particularly.
I just have this weird
Why are
name.
you telling me this? He's like, happy birthday?
He's like, this is not TGIF Fridays. You do not just get a free cake because you say it's your birthday. That does it for our first half of today, but we still have a whole other best of 5 coming up.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one as well. Leda has a very, very different way of playing StarCraft than other Terran players.
And he's been sticking with it for a long time, which is kind of funny. So we'll see if he does that or if he's decided to adjust or change his style up.
And that's, of course, 2-port Wraith that we're talking about. I expect to see it most games, if not all. So definitely stay tuned. We're going to go to a little break in between while we switch out the computers and everything. And then we'll get right into it. See who our last player in that round of 8 is.
That's right. Looking forward to it. Yeah, when we have that last player, we finally move to the next phase of the tournament, Artosis.
Yeah.
We've been in this part of the tournament for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Parts where we've been here, and the parts we've been gone for BlizzCon. So it's going to be cool to move to the next spot. Anyway, stick around. We'll be right back.